Welcome students for today's session on part 4 of group discussion. We will discuss about the traits or the characters, negative roles in GD, useful phrases for GD and GD topics. So these are the contents that we are going to discuss in this video session. I hope you watched the previous videos to come into the last part of the group discussion video session. So here I am going to display here about positive traits and negative traits in group discussions. It's already being displayed for you. So I will give you a minute's time for you to skim through your character in this. So here we have used the word called as trait, which actually called as your own character. So you have positive and negative characters. Now this is especially with respect to group discussion. So when it comes to group discussion, it's been divided further into personality, communication skill, knowledge and content, and leadership. So you can see there in positive also, you can see that on the negative trait as well. So similar characters are there, but the way it is happening, we are making it as positive and negative trait. So the first one, we are looking into the personality. The first one under positive trait is smartness, cheerfulness, enthusiasm, keenness, or it's something similar to enthusiasm, and participation. So these are the way in which a personality is described in GD positively. Where it comes to negative, can you see down? So you have personality, shyness, sluggishness. So what is sluggishness? Sluggishness is lethargic, little lethargic. Dividends is like you quite reserved, and rudeness, nervousness. So these are the negative traits. So again, communication skill, fluency, clarity, logical, coherence. Coherence is the consistency, and last one is the effectiveness. When it comes to the negative trait, again here, incoherence. So coherence means consistency, incoherence is no consistency at all. Muteness, very quiet. Fumbling is kind of searching the words. Aggressive, very showing aggressive, little anger on your talk. Distracted. So these are the ways you are called as negative communication skill traits. Then we go into the positive knowledge and content. Here we talk about depth, range, analytical ability, coordination of thoughts, and decisiveness. So this is about with the positive trait. When it comes to the negative trait, it talks about ignorance. Okay, you didn't know about the topic at all. Lack of ideas, mental poverty, superficial, lack of analytical ability. So these are the negative characters about knowledge and content. And last but not the least, we have leadership. So when you have a positive leadership, we have initiative, tolerance, team spirit, persuasiveness, and flexibility. And when it comes to the negative one, again you can see intolerance. So tolerance there, again here intolerance, selfishness, rigid, isolation, and quite over dominance. That's what, overt dominance. So these are the negative ones. So I give you a minute's time for you to identify where you possess, whether it's positive or negative. You can identify yourself. Yeah. So I think you would have got an idea on where you actually fall into. Yeah, thank you so much students. I move on to the next slide. Negative roles in group discussion. So when it comes to the negative roles in group discussion, the first one is non-participant. Like some students, they don't want to talk, they just be quiet, and they don't want to be a part of the group discussion. Then comes the attacker, is the person who actually attacks the others on their point. Whatever they say, they keep attacking. So that is also not quite negative role that you have to carry out in GD. These are the no. So you don't have to use these. Dominators, as I told you long time back, these are students who wanted to dominate on other students. And then comes patronize. Patronize is like supports the other. So in between the group discussion, they start supporting each other. And the last but not the least is the clown character. So the clown character is like a joker who sits there and mock at others whatever they are talking. So probably they are non-participant usually, and they don't want to give on their points as well. So these are the few negative roles in GD which you should not be carrying out. So this is for your information, students. So I move on to the next slide. The most interesting slide, or the most interesting concept on useful phrases for group discussion. So we will see what is that. So when it comes to useful phrases, the first thing is introduction. So when it comes to introduction is like firstly, when you initiate a discussion, that not only shows your confidence, but you also show your ability to lead the group in the right direction. But it is important that you need to give a logical point while you start speaking on it. So few examples are like with due respect, I would like to put forward that, or good morning ladies and gentlemen, I would like to give you some points like this. So I've given you a few examples on how to start with. And then comes agreeing. So when it comes to agreeing, it's like, most of all, throughout the group discussion, it's necessary to keep in mind that the objective of this task is cooperative and a practical conclusion. It is necessary that you make your point while respecting others' view and options. I've given here a few examples like I am totally agree with you. As a matter of fact, you start saying like this. So I've given a few examples of all these. Then comes disagreeing. So when it comes to disagree, you have to be very cautious of what exactly you are talking. So while agreeing is positive, so but then when it comes to disagreeing, it's like you're putting it very negative to the other person. So you have to be very cautious on doing this. So if it is not done properly, then there will be other problems in like the other person will try to dominate, or you try to dominate the other. So there's a controversial happening. So very respectfully you use this word, like few phrases like this: with due respect, I believe it could be like wrong, or it with due respect I would only partly agree to that. So these are the things that you can use. I have given other examples as well. So which exactly it fits you, you can find and you can start using this in the group discussions. The next one is suggesting your opinion. Firstly, your points must be such that it should be convincing and assertive. Moreover, putting your idea into comprehensive sentences is necessary. So if you don't give it that, then it is very difficult. So few example is like, my honest opinion would be that so and so, or the way I see it. So these are the few examples that I've given. So you can make use of this particular, and you can also make note of these in the PPT. From the PPT you can make note of all these. And next comes is asking for clarification, especially when there is some doubt in the points that they have told. There is usually this happens. So you have to again be very cautious. So while a point is made, it is necessary that the entire group gets the gist of it. In case if you don't understand a few kind of thing, it is advisable to ask them, or you ask them to repeat them. So this shows that you are interested and eagerness to participate in discussion. So few of the phrases that I've used here is, I'm sorry that could you please make it clear more, or if you don't mind, could you please repeat that again. So these are the phrases that you need to use them. Then comes interrupting politely. So especially when some other person is giving their own point, so you have to give your point. So you are actually barging in, kind of a barging in. So you need to be cautious. See, sometimes there could be a situation where you have to interrupt. Okay, so give valuable information to the already made point. Therefore, here are few phrases in which you can use them in this situation, like sorry to interrupt, but I would like to hear that. All these things you can start adding on. And we move on to the next slide. Other useful phrases. Now when it comes to other useful phrases, like in addition to the already mentioned phrases, here are a few more tips that I've already mentioned here. So relating to your ground reality in today's world. So you can start with, in today's world so and so happens. So this gives a platform of how to use it. Then stating popular facts as a matter of fact. Then thanking someone before, like you ask the opinion, so thanking opinion. Then giving a chance to someone. So when you give a chance to someone, you can use, what do you think about this? and quoting someone popular, like had this once. So these are the few phrases that you can start using. So students, I stop with this. So this will be a useful one on useful phrases. So see you in the next video session. Thank you, students.